Brian Harrison here with Keith Koski at the Reuse Warehouse. Keith, thanks for inviting us out. Sure. Can you tell us a little bit about the mission of the Reuse Warehouse?
Sure. The City of Houston Building Materials Reuse Warehouse takes donations from individuals and companies of gently used building materials that otherwise would go into a landfill. We store it and we make it available free of charge to any nonprofit organization from anywhere. And a nonprofit organization can come here and take any amount of material. They can bring a semi-truck here and load it up, and there's no charge, and they can drive it away. So it gets reused instead of going into the landfill.
All right, well, there's a lot of interesting building materials here to go take a look at. Let's go see what you guys do here at the Reuse Warehouse.
Great, let's go.
You want to start with that?
Sure, yeah, we can go. I mean, I can talk about everything, but we'll just, yeah. Sure, we get
tubs, Keith.
Okay.
What
we
do
get
you do with these?
Okay. We get a lot of plumbing fixtures here, and that's great. We take them, and they can either be used for their original purpose, and kind of fixed up a little bit and made into a jacuzzi once again. Or some of the community gardeners can use these as planters or vessels for holding water. So any use other than the original use is great. That allows it to many things to get reused.
And this just takes up space in a landfill, and otherwise you're reusing it.
Yeah, a lot of space and a lot of weight. This is just a drop in the bucket as to what gets put into the landfill. So.
You've also got other bathroom fixtures. You've got sinks and toilets.
Yeah, we've got vanity tops, pedestal sinks. These are low flush, water-conserving toilets. Cast iron sink back there, a wall-mounted toilet there.
So who gives you the materials? How do you typically get the materials?
Well, usually it just comes in. We have an outreach program to get the word out to homeowners and companies. And so they drive in the gate, and it may be a construction company, or it may be a homeowner who's just had some renovations, and they've got some things in their garage that are keeping them from parking their car in their garage. So they bring them in, and they give us a call usually, and we say, sure, bring it on in. And lo and behold, a nonprofit will come in and say, hey, I can use that. Okay, we load it up and they reuse it. It doesn't go to landfill.
A lot of wood, a lot of slats, a lot of cabinets. Tell us about that.
Okay. Yeah, we get a lot of cabinets in various states of, various condition. And Dave, who you'll meet later, he's very good at taking sets of cabinets and taking parts and making them reusable. So he does that when he has time. And a lot of cabinets that come in slightly damaged actually go out in good condition, and they get reused.
So the Reuse Warehouse is not like a junkyard where people just come and get things as is. You guys actually do some refurbishment, so that you make an attempt to make things reusable.
Well, yes. With the resources we have, we can do a little bit of that.
Okay.
But if people can come in and take things as they are, that'll help our mission a lot. And if they can bring it in, that'll help our mission a lot too. We have a pilot program to pick up material, but unfortunately resources permit that unless it's like a large load, like several tons that we can schedule, then we can go get it in that case, as long as it's in Houston and bring it in. But if people can take things as they are, that's the best thing. But and if they can bring it in, that's also the best thing.
You've also got, in addition to wood, you've got bricks, and there's something very interesting about bricks that makes them, that you need to reuse them.
Sure, yeah. We love bricks at the warehouse, and people come in. It's a highly reusable building material, and they take a lot of energy to produce and to reproduce. So if you're throwing a lot of them away, you're throwing essentially a lot of carbon that's going into the atmosphere away. This is good St. Joe brick. We got it the other day. Rice University has built all of St. Joe brick, so it's a good quality material.
So when you say carbon, how do you mean? Where does all the carbon come from?
Okay. Actually, let's go over here to this landscape
Okay.
block. I think this is a better example. Okay, so here's the landscape block, and 15 pounds or something like that. This is a little over a ton of landscape block. Okay.
That's a ton?
That's a ton.
In your mind, you think a ton is so much more than 50. That's amazing.
That's right, and it's not really that much. So let's say, okay, the ingredients in concrete are Portland cement, sand, either fine or coarse aggregate like gravel, that sort of thing, and water. And so the Portland cement in concrete emits pound for pound carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. For 1 pound of Portland cement emits 1 pound of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere when it's produced and distributed. So different mixtures of concrete, let's say that 1/5 of this block is Portland cement. So if you line up 5 of these blocks and you take one of the 5 and you throw it up into the air, that's how much carbon goes up.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so. I mean, this represents about 400 or 500 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, of carbon that you've saved from going into the atmosphere.
Yeah, or on the conservative side, let's say 300 pounds just right here or something of carbon dioxide going into the atmosphere in gas form. Okay, this is solid form. So now, if you throw this into the landfill, it takes up landfill space. And then if someone else goes and they buy more of these landscape blocks, then that's another, hefty 300 pounds that goes up into the atmosphere. So I guess you could double that. But yeah, and there are other costs too, like how much petrochemicals does it take to transport it and that sort of thing. We got these less than a mile from here. A conscientious contractor by the name of Justin Gordon, he's a home builder, calls us when he has material, and we go out and either pick it up or they bring it in. And so, this is a big savings right here.
And this is just one example of a very simple way that people wouldn't think of in order to see if you're going to the atmosphere. Just using bricks, something that simple.
That's right. Bricks, blocks. There are many buildings being demolished in Houston. Houston's a big demolition city. We tear buildings down a lot, and often you'll see a wrecking ball going into a building, and it's just breaking up masonry blocks, concrete blocks, and that sort of thing. That usually gets dumped into a landfill. I mean, it goes into a dumpster. It may get crushed. Often concrete gets crushed, and that's a good thing. It's reused that way, but it's more efficient for the pieces to be tapped apart. It's labor intensive, and there are issues about time in contracts and that sort of thing and liability. But it's much more efficient to reuse each unit and build back with it somehow. We've got to get to that point. So there are some efficiencies with what a lot of the demolition companies are doing. A lot of them are conscientious, and they're going, and there's also a good economy to that. They're saving money by crushing up concrete and reusing it, as well as steel and other materials.
We haven't even made it into the warehouse yet. Let's go ahead and get in there, Keith.